Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversation for Change. This is your host, Khushi Verma. And for today's podcast, we have Disha Taneja as our guest, the founder of Diva's Planet. And she currently studies in Australian National University on Vice Chancellor Scholarship, which is awarded to 170 students across the world. She was also a part of MindSpeaker program at Fortis Mental Health and also an international book of records holder. So welcome to the show, Disha.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us, how was your day today?
My day, I think my day today was quite tiring because I have like a rough schedule on Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's like
Yeah.
a lot of classes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But as my Monday, Thursday, and Fridays are comparatively easier. So yeah, today's was quite tiring and exhausting.
Getting it. Okay, so can you tell us how the education system over there is different from that of India? Like you are pursuing your graduation from there, right? So what,
Yes.
changes you feel are
I
there?
think I haven't experienced the college life in India because I straight away came for my bachelor's to Australia.
Yeah.
But I can compare it to like school, how and from the experiences of my friends who are currently studying in India. So I think there's like a high distinction. I mean, in terms of like in the Indian classrooms, I don't think
Mm.
so. We have a whole damn theater for a lecture in which we have like 500, 600 people, which is here in Australia. So it's like a whole lecture in a theater, like literally the theaters where we go and
Wow.
watch the movie. And we have the same seats, everything same. It's just that you can keep your laptop except the popcorn and cola. So you just keep your laptop instead, and then there's this giant screen where we used to watch the movie. So there are lecture slides and there's a lecturer. So now what comes to my mind is like this is a whole thing of a movie. And when you go to a movie, you just don't concentrate a lot. And it's like all dark, literally like a movie. And everybody's screen is on, the lecture slides are on. That's it. That's the only source of light there. It actually feels like a theater, and I just don't feel like studying at that point. It's like play a movie, dude. Yeah, that's a
क्योंकि
thing here.
as Indians we see theater
Yeah,
as entertaining place. PVR हो गया, INOX हो गया, right?
exactly.
We never use it for
Exactly.
educational purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what my mind has an image that this is a place where you can have a leisure time. So your
Yeah.
leisure times become your study place. Now that's like a huge difference. All right. So
Exactly.
and we have like 500 students in psychology in one damn theater. So it's like a lot of people. And you just whenever I go, I'm never with the same person because I am always late, fashionably late. You
Indians.
just sit down.
Indians. It's
Yeah.
like every
And
Indian thing.
the best part is, I mean, the one thing that I like about Australia, so they actually no one cares. Even if people are joining 1 hour late, nobody cares there. It's like people come, they sit, they listen, or they just procrastinate, or they just watch their phone, or they just talk with other people and they go. There's like nobody who is supervising us, who is telling us, who's being strict, who's like saying, "Oh, you are late, you're not allowed," and things like in India, if I would have been late by 10 minutes every day, my teacher would have kicked me off with a
Exactly.
with a note in the diary, and she would have called my parents. But here it's
Yeah.
like very no one actually cares. It's just like in the tutorials, which are
Mm.
basically like a small group of 24 to 25 students where we sit together and we have like discussions. We talk about this week's topic, readings, and it's like playing videos and getting some practical stuff. It's then when your attendance is quite compulsory, and in the
Hmm.
lectures they don't even take attendance. So it's like
Oh.
you attend or not. We do not have attendance.
Hmm.
I remember I was being into a biology lecture because there's no one who's asking for attendance. So I just sat down and I attended the whole bio lecture, which was so fun. I never had bio in year 11 and 12. It's like I'm here to complete all my Bollywood fantasies. So I did my Three Idiots fantasies. And then I do my Kejos movie fantasy every day because there are no dress restrictions. You can wear whatever you want to, like literally whatever you want to. Even the teachers here are so chill. They dress like so cool. So it's like you dress up like whatever you want to. So it's like playing your all Bollywood movie fantasies here. So it's fun
Wow.
in this way.
Not like
Yeah,
India. India में जैसे we have teachers like they are so strict. Even in colleges also, they keep a check on you, just like you are in a school and you are a student.
exactly. When I was in school, this there used to be this teacher who was like, I was a cabinet member. Okay, so
Hmm.
this is how a cabinet member was treated. I used to wear this skirt, which was a little above my knee. And she's like, I'll call your dad next time. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And here, it's just so chill. You can literally be in your pajamas, in your night suits, in your shorts, in your skirts, anything. People here are in bralettes. Can you like imagine this? This is so chill.
And what about like if in formal events, like if there is a presentation and there are other events also, so it's maybe like you are allowed to wear casuals.
I mean, there are no restrictions, but you are expected to wear formal clothes. But again, there's no one like that will come and tell you, oh, you can't wear this and that. It's just like
Mm.
you are expected to wear formal things for your formal stuff.
Yeah, yeah, getting it. And
And it's like a
hmm,
yeah, it's like a thing in a lot of areas. Like they expect you to study. They don't tell you to study. They're not strict. And that's like both a good point and a bad point because, like
hmm,
as an Indian student, हमें डंडे की आदत होती है. So यहाँ पे
yeah,
कुछ ऐसा है ही नहीं. यहाँ पे एकदम chill. तुम्हारी जिम्मेदारी अपना काम खुद करो. बिल्कुल सेल्फ डिपेंड. बिल्कुल सही. There's no teacher coming out and saying कि ये तुम्हारी असाइनमेंट इसे करना है. Half the times I'm not aware कि assignments कहाँ है because यहाँ पे there's a high dependence on online stuff. And me being a person जिसने 18 साल सिर्फ बुक्स के भरोसे निकाला है. And you see a sudden transition to online. Now everything is on
yeah,
my screen. So
hmm,
there are no like traditional textbook stuff and all. Even though there are textbooks, but it's like
hmm.
no one buys it because it's like a waste of money because they don't give you the whole textbook. They'll like one textbook here is $191, which is around
Oh
10,000 in India for one textbook. Okay.
my God.
And then they don't give you the full textbook. They'll take 10 pages from each chapter and then
Hmm.
they'll give you that. So there's no point of spending 10,000 rupees just to study 10 pages of each chapter.
Yeah, makes sense. Completely makes sense. Because it's not economical. You are buying
Yeah.
books, and if you have resources over like over your laptop or anything, that's enough. And
But
like
the
if
resources on
Mhm.
laptop also have an issue. They're like in the psychology thing, that no more than six people can access one book at a particular time online.
Ah,
And
my
and
God.
this is like so weird. I mean, they are literally doing this so that people buy books, which is like again a marketing strategy, which I don't like. But it's like you should. So I just take the screenshots of everything so that I at least have it if other people are
Yeah.
reading it. Even though I've never faced this, but there's this thing that they always say that no more than six people can access it. Every time I open it, I can access it. So I don't know if it's or not because I'm not sure. Like, am I the only person who's studying and just five people along with me? So every time I open the book, it's opening. I'm like, एक बार तो दिखा दे कि नहीं खुलती।
Yeah. And yeah, like, there are students in India who feels going abroad and studying looks so fancy. You will party all day and, chill out with friends. Like, is it really true? Does this
I
happen?
think the party culture here is true. I mean, there are parties going every time here. And I'm just so exhausted. Like in my initial days, I was like, yay, party and stuff. But now, I mean, since week 3, I'm so done. I'm like, I don't want to party. It's something I hate here now. When I came, I was like, yeah, I'll do party. I'll go out. I'll be with my friends. But here, parties are so boring. I mean, trust me, Indian parties are 100x more better. Here, parties
In
sucks.
what
I
in
mean,
what sense? Yeah.
yeah, so we have a party library. Okay, it's called a silent
Oh.
disco. So they turned the library into
Hmm.
a disco. Now, what was
Okay.
the disco? They just put that DJ light, gave us headphones. They were like, now you can dance. And now we can't even play our own beat on the headphones. They were playing like some Australian music, which I didn't knew. And none of my
Hmm.
Indian friends knew that. And even the Australians didn't knew that. Everybody was standing, staring at each other, like, what should we do next? So
Oh my God.
we were like, what should we do now? I mean, okay, you gave us headphones. You did bare minimum effort to turn a library into a disco, which is not even ethical. You should have really booked a hall or something. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like so weird. I'm like, okay. And after like 1 hour, they're like, oh, okay, tata, bye bye. And this is the thing everywhere. They have parties for like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and they are
Hmm.
just making an announcement. They're ending in 30 minutes. I'm like, we have 30 minutes. Let us enjoy. Why are you like announcing it? अभी 30 मिनट ही बचे हैं, जो करना है करो. ऐसे प्रेशर डाल देते हैं बंदों में.
Like, I don't think this is how parties work because in India, like, it's
Yeah.
completely different. We have informal parties over here.
I mean, यहाँ पे फॉर्मल और इनफॉर्मल और सारी पार्टीज एक ही जैसी है. I don't like partying here. It's so bad. I mean, they don't have music here. मैं हॉलीवुड के गाने भी सुन के गई थी. I was like टेलर स्विफ्ट वगैरह सब सुन के जाऊंगी कि वहां पे लिरिक्स आते हो मुझे. यहाँ पे मैं आई, यहाँ पे गाने ही नहीं है. This is just टेक्नो थिंग जो चलता रहता है.
Yeah, yeah.
हाई टेक्नो में कितनी देर बंदा डांस करे, कितनी देर. 2-3 घंटे उनका मिनिमम है कि चलाएंगे हम. अभी 2-3 घंटे खड़े रहूं क्या मैं? हद हो गई. टेक्नो नहीं होता मुझसे इधर.
And जो Indian friends होते हैं, you find it easy to find them over there या फिर it gets difficult for you कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया
आई
में
थिंक यू
finding
कैन
Indians?
फाइंड इंडियंस एवरीवेयर. यहाँ पे मतलब कहीं भी जाओ, यू कैन इजीली फाइंड एन इंडियन. इजीली. आई मीन, हर हर 1 किलोमीटर में एक इंडियन दिख जाएगा. ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है
हाँ.
इधर. आई मीन, कहीं पे भी चले जाओ इधर. ऑस्ट्रेलिया के किसी गांव में भी मैं चली जाऊंगी, मुझे एक इंडियन मिल जाएगा. I am so sure about it because Canberra is an underrated place in Australia. So many people go to Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide. ठीक है. So Canberra is like one of the most uh, offbeat places here. But यहाँ पे भी बहुत लोग हैं. मैं होली पार्टी पे गई, हमारा पूरा पार्क भर गया, कॉमनवेल्थ पार्क. It was full. I was like, what? इतने लोग कब आए कैनेडा में इंडिया से? It's like यहाँ पे इस चीज की दिक्कत है. And there's like a lot of communities. Like there's an Indian association, there's Ekta, which is a South Asian community. So you can easily find a group of Indians. Also, Indians are always into any free parties. So if there's a free party happening, you will always find Indians there. So don't worry.
This was nice. मतलब जिस भी स्टूडेंट्स को आफ्टर 12th ऐसे पार्टीज वगैरह करनी है, they should go to Australia.
I don't think so. You should come to Australia if you are allergic to बिना ओजोन वाला सन. I am. I got a sunburn आज ही
Okay.
फिर से. So guys, either bring 3 बॉटल सनस्क्रीन बड़ी वाली और रोज थोप के जाओ, नहीं तो मत आओ.
Hmm. Like,
I mean,
they don't have
I can
ozone now.
tolerate everything. Yeah, I mean, यहाँ पे it's right on the above of Canada that they don't
Hmm.
have the ozone. Rest, it's everywhere in Australia, like, but they have a thin layer, and इधर layer ही नहीं है. So it's like यहाँ पे the rays are so bad, like UV rays literally attack your skin. And it's also in Sydney, so Sydney also have this skin cancer awareness program because the sun is very harsh here, and Australia is the most prone region in the world for skin diseases. Australia has the most amount of skin diseases in the world because
My God.
here the ozone is the baddest. So you have to wear a lot of sunscreen. You have to cover your body. You have to wear caps. You have to carry umbrellas. It's so much important here. Like, yeah, मैं जब गोवा में थी, I barely wore sunscreen and मुझे कुछ नहीं हुआ. I came to Australia, I put like 5-6 layers and I still get sunburns here.
Man, the life is so difficult.
I mean, it's just the sun. I mean, I hate the sun and he hates me too in Australia. I love Indian sun. Best.
And what is the weather over there? Like, did you saw snowfall in the winters?
Okay, I'll just give you a brief analysis of how the weather here is. So it's like you don't get to see a sunrise until 7 a.m. in the morning, which is quite late. So here
Hmm.
the sun rises at 7:15, I say. 6:50 bhi ho jata hai, so each day it's like near to 7 something. And then the sun sets at 8, 8 p.m.
Eight.
8:15.
Oh
Sometimes
my.
it's even 8:30. So this is how it works. Like they have the sun the whole damn day, and it's so frustrating for me because I hate the sun here. I'm wearing a sunscreen now, dude. It's 11:26 p.m. I'm still wearing it because I'm so scared of the sun. And it's like, so you have to be in the university in these hours only because the university timings are this. And the fact, the biggest cultural shock, I mean, India is 100x better in this. All the shops, literally everything here closes at 5 p.m. So it's 9 to 5. Everything closes at 5 p.m. And my classes are still at 6 p.m. and everything is closed. I'm like, how can you expect me to buy stuff before 5 p.m.? I have classes and there's nothing open on the weekends. So they're like very strict in terms of like work days. So it's
Yeah.
like they won't work overtime. So अगर 5 बजे उनकी छुट्टी का टाइम है तो 5:15 तक नहीं रुकेंगे वो. 5 बजे पूरे भाग जाएंगे वहां से. So it's that thing. Weekends pay, we don't have anything. We only have essential shops, which are groceries and pharmacy. That's it. If you want to go shopping, 5 बजे से पहले. If you want to go to like a bank, 5 बजे से पहले. If you want to get a SIM, 5 बजे से पहले. Everything, 5 बजे से पहले. Even the reception closes. So like if you have like an issue at 7
Hmm.
p.m. in the evening, you can't go to the reception because it's closed. So you have to call the duty SR. I mean, they have like some things for us, but it's like everything closes at 5 p.m. Even the university pharmacy, it closes at 5. So it's
Like,
like
is
you
it
can't
is it
access.
for the safety of people? You like five
It's
o'clock pay.
basically
Hmm.
no, it's basically that they have set work hours. Now it's
Hmm.
like 9 to 5 is their work time, and after that it's their leisure time. So they'll not work in the leisure time. So they
This is
have like
great, man.
strict boundaries.
India needs this kind of law because people over here
I
work
don't think
12
so
hours a day.
because it's dead. I mean, if you want to go out after 8:30, after the sun goes away, you want to experience nightlife, what will you see? Nobody. You'll see like a dead camera. What are you here for? You'll just see some cute lights. You'll see some fairy lights. You'll see two, three restaurants open. All the restaurants are closed by 5, or maybe last at 6:30. Some restaurants, and you'll see the clubs, which absolutely sucks. So that's it. You'll see McDonald's. McDonald's is open every time. McDonald's is the only spot, and you'll see one or two the 7-Eleven stores. Yeah.
And like, how do you manage your food? Did you find Indian food over there, or you cook on your own?
My hall is self-catered. So if you're looking for apartments in the university itself, we have two options. Either you get catered food or you get a self-catered option. So I chose the self-catered one, which was again my bad. But you can also go for catered ones. But catered ones are like a little too expensive. But the catered ones also serve you with all the Australian meals. So it's not like you'll get Indian meal, ya kuch bhi.
Mhm.
It's the thing that they eat. So in the morning, they'll give you cereals and stuff. In the afternoon, sausage. In the night, they'll give you a burger or pizza or something. So they'll follow the Australian pattern of diet. They'll feed you according to Australian pattern. That's the reason I didn't choose it, because I can't
Mhm.
adapt to it like so quickly. So I was like, I'll cook my own food, and which I don't know what I do. I'm like literally surviving on Maggie. Yeah. I have Maggie, milk, bread. I had this ready-made rotis, and I got some sabjis and I cut them. I say sabji banaka and I just roll it into roti and I eat it. So but I just have milk. But there's one thing which I quite like about ANU. There's a spot called BKSS which serves you with free breakfast each morning, which is the same thing that they give you, like cereals and toast and milk. That's it. Uh, but you can like go there if you don't want to have, if you don't have milk in your home today and you are hungry, you can just go there and have breakfast. And sometimes it's also like, most of the times they, if the stock lasts from the morning, it's there for the whole day. So you can just go anytime. If they have the morning stuff still left, you can have it. And most of the times they have it. So you can just
Wow.
go and grab coffee, or you have to make everything yourself. It's just that they'll provide you the resources. So you can
Okay.
make coffee, you can make tea, you can make toast, you can do anything you want to, and you can have it. I also like that's a great way of trying new stuff. I mean, I never tried Vegemite in India. It's an Australian thing. I tried it here. It's just okay. So it's like basically a thickened version of soya sauce or something. So it's okay-ish. And you can try new stuff. I tried vegan bread. I tried gluten-free bread. I tried gluten-free butter, vegan butter. I don't know what all have I tried. I tried apricot jam, which was so good. I love apricot jam here. I tried this green tea, which I never tried in India, even though it's popular. But I was like, why should I? And then I had it here, which was again very nice. I tried one soothing tea, which I didn't like. So yeah, I mean, some things here sucks, but yeah, most of the things you can try. It's fun trying.
Yeah. And yeah, like trying and exploring is something that makes your life, with so many experiences and everything. So, like, yeah,
Yeah,
like in India, people are not so much, independent. People, like, if we take the example of students, they are so dependent on their parents when it comes to food and everything. So, like, in a way, going out at such a young age teaches you adulting, right?
yeah.
Like, you are cooking your food and meals on your own, and you are also learning things, because if you will not cook for yourself, then who will gonna come and feed you? So yeah, it's a great thing.
I totally agree with this, and that's the thing that I love the most about living abroad. Like I love hate it.
Hmm.
So it's like when you're sick, you will still have to cook your meals. Nobody is gonna come to cook for you. I mean, no matter how many good friends you make or everything, you
Hmm.
can't just ask them daily to cook your meal. They can
Exactly.
make you meal once in a day,
Hmm.
and that's it. I mean, you can't ask for a lot of favors from your friends because it's like a two-way thing. If you're asking them, they'll
Yeah.
also ask it, and you have to be like there emotionally and every time for them if you are expecting the same in return. So it's quite complicated in that way because you have to manage your personal life, and then you have your commitments, then you have your social life, then you have your university, have to do the assignments, have to do a lot of stuff. So it's hard to be available for a particular person every time,
Yeah.
which itself is very challenging. So it's like it will be better if you come here and be dependent on yourself. I mean, I tried cooking with my Indian friends. We were like, we can cook together or something. But it's like you can do it for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, but you all have different schedules. So if I'm studying psychology, the other person is studying some other field. They either getting off like on this particular day, like their Wednesday is free, my Thursday is free. So it's like you can coordinate with them because you
Yeah.
have different priorities and you can't miss out your stuff just because you want to cook with them. So
Hmm.
it will be a complete vague idea. So it's like if you're coming here, just tell yourself that you are independent and now you have to be on your own. Like literally the Taylor Swift thing that you heard, that you are on your own, kid. It's real now. So you have to do all the things by yourself. I mean, I never washed my dishes at home, never. So when I wash it, now I realize it. No matter how many times I wash my dishes in a day, there's always one dish in the sink. Always. I'm like, I'm so tired of washing the dishes. Even though it's not tough.
Yeah.
It's not like tough or anything. I have gloves, I have all the equipments. But it's like it's frustrating because you see that after all, like you're tired, you're exhausted, and you want to have food, and you see that your plate is in the sink. First, you have to wash the plate, and then you can have the food. This is so
Yeah.
frustrating. And here, like for the laundry, you have to like do it, and here laundry is paid too. So every time you wash it, you feel like
Oh.
either you put all the clothes in it, or you just wait for your next week. It's like you can't just wash it every day because it's paid again. So you have to like manage your funds in that way. Uh, and apart from that, you there are a lot of things that make you independent. Like you have to buy
And
groceries.
and yeah, managing your finances also goes hand in hand because you must be having a fixed budget, right? And managing everything in that specific amount, like that is something you learn there.
Yeah. I think here independency teaches you a great lesson. I mean,
Hmm.
here if here people start to learn how to be by themselves. You learn a lot of things. You start to know that okay, this is my assignment, this is my compulsory lecture, this is my timetable, this is
Hmm.
my other personal stuff that is happening, and this is the day I have to like fix the timings for each thing. And there's nobody who's gonna wake you up because here in Australia you don't get like shared rooms, like two or three people sharing one room. It's
Hmm.
more of like a private room. So you have shared
Yeah.
kitchen and bathrooms. So you don't get anybody in your room. So you can't be dependent on anybody to wake you up. You have to be up by yourself each day, and you have to manage your breakfast. You have to be on time to your classes. Even though you can be 5-10 minutes late, that's okay, but not more than that because you tend
Hmm.
to miss out a lot of stuff. So it's at the end of the day, it's your loss. It's nobody's loss. And
Yeah.
then you have to take care of the groceries because like we get a mini fridge. Most of the people do not get a mini fridge here, but some halls do give a mini fridge. So it's like you can't stuff a lot of stuff in that because it's so small. And the stuff here gets fungus very easily because the sun here is too harsh. And
Yeah.
so you can't keep anything out. So if you keep your bread out for a day, like for your college, and you come out, you'll see your bread is done. It's gone. So it's either you put it in the fridge or you consume it, and you can't stuff a lot of things there, and you run out of groceries very quickly. So, and my university is in the city center, but my hall is a bit far from the city. So it's like you have to travel that distance, and then you have to come back with all the stuff on your arms. It's like so tiring at times. My back used to ache a lot, but now I'm like, okay, it's a normal thing. I it doesn't matter to me
It's
now.
like,
It's
yeah,
like I
it's
am
for
used
you.
to.
Yeah, for you, like coming out of that comfort zone and challenging yourself on a daily basis.
True.
That's something,
Yeah.
gonna stay with you for the rest of your life.
I mean, you have new challenges every day, and back in your mind, you know you can do it, but your first instinct is like, damn, no, I'm not here for this. I didn't expect this. I don't want to do
Yeah.
this. But at the end of the day, you ace it, and then you have this thing in your head that, okay, I'm proud of myself, and I am so proud that I did it. And you learn a new life lesson. You learn about fake friendships. The biggest lesson here is fake friendships. And you learn about forming connections. You learn about your priorities. You learn about how to be on yourself. It's the biggest lesson. I mean, if you have the courage, it literally builds you the courage to go out and sit in a restaurant and eat your food all by yourself without actually craving for anybody's company. This independence is what you get here when you live abroad.
Right. Because, personally, even I can't imagine to go like this all by myself and go to a cafe and then have a meal on my own. I'll definitely call my best friend to come along with me.
I've actually tried it in India too. So I took a gap
Yeah.
gap
Hmm.
year, which was about for 6 months. So it's not technically a year, but I was in
Yeah.
Chandigarh for
Yeah.
that period. And I didn't know anybody. So it was like a complete new life, starting from scratch. And I learned these lessons there as well. And Chandigarh and Canberra are quite similar because they were designed by the same man, Le Corbusier. So
Okay.
it's like I learned a lot of lessons in Chandigarh, and I went to my first solo day to a cafe in Chandigarh only. So it's like I've been learning these skills since the past 6 months, and now I don't feel anything. Now, if I have to go to a cafe all by myself, I can because I have gained control over that anxiety of mine. I mean, now I can eat alone without actually craving for anybody. I can go out and buy my groceries alone. I can go out and explore the city by myself. I don't think so. I fear anything with this. I mean, this anxiety takes a lot of time to be in control, to
Yeah.
be in your control. But once you get it, you become an unstoppable force. So it's like nothing is holding you. You can go and venture out anything you want to. So I think this is the unstoppable force that I always craved of. And now when I have it, I feel good about it. Because at this point, I don't have to call anybody. Like, if you want to come, it's okay. If you don't want to come, I'm still gonna go. And I've done this, and I feel happy about it. Like once I wanted to go to this Indian party so bad, I was like, I want to go here. And me and my friend we were having this plan that we'll go together. And he had some stuff, like it was so urgent he had to leave. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh, okay. I was like, how will I go there? I don't know anybody. But then I went there, and now I have the most amazing friends from that circle.
Wow.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine. And that happened to me in Chandigarh too. So I went to my first open mic in Chandigarh all by myself, even though I told my parents that you should come as a as participants, at least see my performance. This is going to be my first open mic. They were like, no, you have to go by yourself. I was so scared. I was like, this is gonna be my first performance. First, there's a performance anxiety pressure on me, and I absolutely do not know anybody. I went there, and the same group of friends that I formed there were there with me at all the open mics that I ever attended in Chennai.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
made a group on that first open mic, and
Hmm.
all of us were in the same open mic every time. There was this group that was sitting together every time. I
Hmm.
couldn't believe that I did it, but it's like you cannot believe yourself at times, but you are able to do all the stuff, so it's nothing impossible.
Right. Definitely agree with this. And once you put yourself into that zone, yeah, like this is me, and you put yourself out there, things starts to happen on its own.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
Hmm.
if you have like a notion to yourself, even though if it's fake, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. So if
Hmm.
you have a notion about yourself, like I'm the best, even though if you do not believe it in
Hmm.
your initial time, you are just saying it to yourself because you want to calm yourself. This
Yeah.
notion will become so strong after like you ace in some particular situations where you felt like you won't be able to do it, but you did it. And then you keep
Hmm.
on telling this to yourself. This notion will now not be a notion. This will be a reality. And this becomes a reality in your head. So change happens two ways, one in your mind and
Hmm.
then in reality. So once in your mind, you are said that, okay, I'm the best. There's no one defeating me. I am gonna ace anything I get into. The second is your reality, and you do it because in
Yeah.
your mind you already did it. So your actions, your mind knows how to do it in real life.
Yeah. And having a plan with execution, like that is something we all need.
Yeah, that's true. Like even in the morning, if you're late, like you woke up 30 minutes late, but you give
Yeah.
yourself 2 minutes to think, how are you going to process the whole time before you reach the class? How are you going to have the breakfast? What are you going to wear? What are you going to keep in your bag
Yeah.
and everything? You just give yourself 2 minutes and you have a plan. And now you're working with that plan. But if you go without a plan, if you're like suddenly just waking up and just finding what should I wear and everything, just not thinking
Yeah.
and being blank about everything, you won't be able to get there at time. But if you like give yourself 2 minutes and you have 30 minutes, you might be 5 7 minutes late, but
Hmm.
you will be at least able to complete all the aspects that you thought you would.
Right. This is so true. And in some books also it is written like planning the stuff once taking action on it is the best thing you can do.
I absolutely believe in planning. I mean,
Hmm.
if like this was my example, if I'm 30 minutes late, I just give myself 2 minutes because my anxiety is like kicking in that you need to hurry, you don't have these 2 minutes, but these 2 minutes are actually so important because
Yeah.
these 2 minutes literally decide your next 30 minutes. So
Hmm.
it's it's like you can really plan out the whole 30 minutes if you just give yourself 120 seconds, and that's not a big deal. You have
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, so true. Okay,
And
like
also
hmm.
this connects it with the patience level. Like for example, people don't wait for the lift because they like it will take a
Hmm.
lot of time, even though it will take the same amount of time that you will take to just walk down the stairs. But it's just your anxiety kicking in and telling you, and it's like a psychological impact that even if I run down by the stairs, I'll be there early. Even though I've observed like it takes the same amount of time, you just have to wait for like 30 seconds for the lift to come to your floor. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so Disha, like besides this, what advices you want to give to the students, who are planning to come abroad and start their career at such a tender age like yours?
I think you can you can come to abroad because it's a very beautiful and a new experience. I mean, here you can find people from different parts of the world, it which is not possible for you to find in India. I mean,
Yeah.
here I can see a lot of people from Korea, Japan, China, Singapore, Malaysia, Bali, Thailand, Australia itself. I mean, almost the Asia and Australia, a lot of Asians, a lot of Australians, and you can connect with them. You can form good bonds. You can try their culture. Even though there's no set Australian culture, because
Mm.
it is usually having like a mixed international society, so it's like a variety of cultures here. But
Yeah.
Australia does not have a specific culture, so it's you can see that you can go to picturesque places and you can explore them. You get to see a whole different country. You get to even though there are a lot of cultural shocks, but you also see a lot of different stuff. I mean, you're in a new country. There's everything that's new. You can start your life from scratch. Because here, no one knows you, so no one knows your past. You can start your life the way you want to. You can
Mm.
start, and you can be independent here. You can learn very well here because in the tutorials there is a high dependence on practical knowledge, and people here are so open. I mean, I'm doing this subject called gender studies, and
Yeah.
I I was like so shook when my teacher said like I'm a lesbian, so what? I'm like, wow, this is like so big. No teacher in India could ever say that. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. People are so
I,
judgmental over here, but that kind of, barrier is not there abroad.
yeah, it is not at all here. And I was in the bio class, the one that I sneaked in. The teacher was like, if you have any questions, I'll catch you up at this Badger, which is a place where you can have alcohol or something, and we can talk over drinks. This is so cool. I mean, Indian teachers
Yeah,
could never say that.
so
So,
true. In India, like people just care about your marks and, scoring well. That's all. That's like their job is done.
here there's a high like thing on your mental health, and the best part is like if you participate in Indian service, it's free.
Mm.
They'll just send you like thank you so much for participating and stuff. Here either you get credits or you get cash for participating in the survey. So it's like a
Oh, nice.
1.5 hour survey can either get you credits, which are like marks, and it's compulsory for psychology students to do that. But once you're done with the required marks, like my required credits are 5, so once I do
Mhm.
it, I can participate in surveys and I can earn cash from that. So it's like
Wow.
not a difficult thing here to uh, but when you do your own service, like when you become the researcher yourself, you have to keep in mind this thing too. Then you'll get participants and you'll have to pay them. And apart from this, there are a lot of free events happening here in the university itself. Like there's a free lunch every Thursday, uh, and you get free merch after filling a survey. So that's cool.
So
So
like
cool. I got
you figure out a way, like living
yeah.
there, you get used to the culture and yeah, like things are there once you start accepting the culture over there.
Also, like once you get used to it, like my initial days, I was finding the university like overwhelming. There were a lot of things happening, but now gradually it's been like in another 4 minutes I'll be here for 30 days in the university. So I
Yeah.
I have figured out quite a lot of stuff, but I won't say I've figured out the city, the Canberra in itself, because you can't figure it out so early because it's important for you to coordinate between your university. So I know the most hyped up parts of Canberra, which I have explored, but I've not explored offbeat Canberra yet. So yeah, I mean, you get your plans when you start attending your classes, your university, and then you finally have a timetable. You know what are your free hours, you know what's your leisure time, you know what's your study time. And
Mm.
once you figure out everything, it's not that tough here. It's okay. You can handle it.
Mhm. Yeah, like, like it's about adapting in the environment. The same goes there.
Yes. But what you'll miss the most is your family, because you realize that no matter how good friends you make here, but no one can actually take your place, take your family's place. I mean, I just see some situations. I'm like, damn, if my mom would have been here, the situation would have been completely different. Or if I'm feeling so tired today, I would have my younger brother to do something for me, to do my stuff, to cook for
Yeah.
me, to anything. I mean, it's like an unsaid rule in your family. Like if a person is not feeling well, you won't ask them to do anything. You'll be treated like you're a
Mm.
queen or a king. But
Yeah.
here it's do it yourself, bro.
Yeah, the life is harsh.
Yeah.
That's a reality. And it hits you
I mean,
early over there.
yeah. And the fact when you realize that, okay, you are not going to see your family so early, that hits you the most, because you have not been away from your families for such a long period. And it's gonna be 30 days in the next 2 minutes, but I already feel this. I mean, I want to just see them once, but it's not possible except the video calling thing. I want to hug them. How can I hug them? So, yeah, I mean, the days when you feel like so bad. I mean, when you have like a tiring, exhausting day, you don't want to do anything, you had like a very bad day, your assignment didn't go well, or your lecture got cancelled, and you walked all the way there, and you
Yeah.
come home so tired, you don't want to cook anything, you just want a good hug and you want to sleep. You crave
Mm.
for that hug, but you don't get it.
Yeah, it happens. And we realize the importance of this once we are, out of our homes. Because in their
Yeah.
homes, we don't feel this kind of like the value that our parents provide to us. It's like the safest shelter we can say.
I mean, nobody in this world can love you more than your family does. I mean, there's nobody equivalent to your family. They're the best people. Just respect them and be around them. Just love them as much as you can, because nobody would ever be able to be replace your family. They are gonna love you unconditionally. Here, everybody will love you conditionally. So there's a difference, a
Yeah,
huge difference. There
yeah,
are unsaid rules. You don't have to say anything, they'll understand your feelings. Here, even if you will say, they'll not understand.
yeah. Everything, works by, exchanging, providing, and then taking something.
That's true. Like, this is a multi-dimensional process. If they're giving efforts, you have to give efforts. In home,
Mm.
it's a unidimensional. If your mom is cooking food, you don't have to cook food again for her. It's not
Yeah,
this thing here. If they're cooking something for you, you are expected to cook them for the next day. So it's like this here.
two ways. Yeah, getting it.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
hmm,
me. Yeah.
like apart
Just
from this,
family.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was saying, so like apart from this, how's the, environment over there? Like there must be very clean air and, atmosphere would be also different. So what, changes you felt in terms of quality of life over there as compared to India?
Okay, so here people mostly live in suburbs, and they
Yeah.
don't have like urban areas, which is not popular in India. We have either rural areas or urban areas, and
Mm.
now we mostly have urban areas. So suburbs are
Yeah.
basically not rural, not urban, just somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So the life here, I think the air is nice, the people are nice. I mean, if you want to cross a road, you can do it. The car will automatically stop for you. You don't have to like say this. And it's beautiful. The city is very beautiful. You see a huge variety of birds here, animals here. There's this etta, which is the most famous pashu here.
Species, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, species here. And we have like etta caps. Etta is mostly found in ANU, so it's like something
Okay.
that symbolizes ANU. So they have made etta as a symbol, and
Wow.
they have huge variety of animals. And the fact that here animals are free. I mean, you won't believe this, but I was walking in the city center, which is basically the hub, the city, the
Yeah.
heart of the city, where there are
Yeah.
people every time, except in the night because everything closes at 5. So
Yeah.
I see bunnies crossing the road. Bunnies
Ah.
crossing the road. They were out here as if it was their own playground. I'm like, who let the bunnies out?
Yeah, like
They
how
were,
is it even possible living?
yeah. And it's like people can spot kangaroos. From my hall, a lot of people have seen kangaroos in my hall, in the lawn. I'm
My
like, I
God.
haven't seen it yet, but my friends have. And there are like crows, and the crows here are like preached as if they're some god. We have like a whole big statue in the city center of a crow. I mean, they have some weird shit, but that's all right. They respect the crows so much. Even the community here, the people who are considered as like SRs or something, they
Yeah,
have their community.
it could be their tradition, we can say, to respect
Yeah,
the crows in a way.
so they're called crows. The community is called crows, and we can find crows everywhere. So we can find magpies also, but there's a thing like these can be harmful to you. They can attack
Mm.
you. So yeah, I mean it's a tropical area, so a lot of species are found here. We have toads, we have spiders. Australia is known for the worst spiders in the world. They have the most poisonous spiders. So you have to be very careful from the spiders. You can find snakes here, you can find toads here. So it's a tropical area. You can't risk your life in the night, especially in the bushes.
Okay.
And in the night when you go out, you see like a lot of noise because the birds in the night, I don't know, they go crazy. It's like their own disco playing. They just start shouting. Like they start shouting like hell and they keep on shouting. And it's in bushes. My even my hall, it seems like I live in a forest because I have to
This is
literally,
so risky, man. It must have felt feeling like a zoo. You are living in a zoo.
yeah, yeah, and this is how the whole Australia is. It's like you are living in a forest, and it's a developed country. Ladies and
Wow.
gentlemen, it's a developed country. You live in a zoo. You
Yeah.
can see a lot of species here. This is that
Yeah.
human animal bond, which I'm like, we do not have such bonds. Either give us street dogs or street cows. That's the bond we have. We do not have
Exactly.
bonds with crows, magpies, and possums. They have possums here. They have these giant lizards here. Oh, I can't tell you what kind of species these people have. The toads are like running right in front of me. I'm like, yeah, slay. My bunnies
Yeah.
crossing the roads. Ducks are always in the University Creek. People are just sitting and watching the ducks.
Wow, it must be a great experience living with, so many variety of species.
Animals. Yeah,
So,
a lot of spiders. I hate spiders. I just don't want to see a spider here.
wow, exploring, different species also. That is nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's harmful too. That's just not exploring. It can be harmful to you.
But
There is
you
dust
must be
mites
like
everywhere.
used to it now. Like now it must be a normal
I'm
for you.
No, it is still not. I mean, the insects are like this big. Have you seen this big insects anywhere in India? Here, insects
No.
are this big. I'm scared of insects here.
Huh?
I've seen like ladybugs, which are this, the ants, this, or
Hmm.
small animals. Here I see this big insects just lying on the road. I am often wondering if it's dead or is it alive. Should I cross it or should I not? And then I take the long way. This is like, I don't want to take the risk.
My God, this is too risky. And
And
if
like,
you are phobic to animals, then it must be a very difficult deal to live there.
I'm not phobic to animals, but I hate insects. I used to hate in India, and I hate it more here because there are a lot of insects here. I mean, I just don't like insects. I don't like it. I like animals, they're cute. I mean, you can see like a whole cute organism, whatever you want to say, organism. And
Yeah.
there you see, and the insects, they're not even like insects. They're like big creatures in the form of insects. The dragonflies are so big, this big dragonflies.
My God.
Dust mites attacking your face. I just don't like insects here.
It's okay. Like you have to live there for around 3 years. You will get into
For
the habit. Yeah, 4. So when are you planning to come to India? It this
in
question
what
brought
terms are
so
you asking this?
this question brought such a big smile on your face. You must be, so willing to come India.
Yeah, I just want to visit there once and read Gold Cup.
So there you don't have Indian cuisine like momos,
We
golgappa,
have it,
or
but I don't think so. I have Indian taste here. It's like more for like Australian. Here, Australian people are so chilled with Indian food. They're like, yeah, we have tried it all. I'm like, bro, this is not Indian food. This is Australian type Indian food. This is not
yeah,
how Indian food is supposed to be. Your food is bland. How can I expect Indian food to be bland? They're like, we
yeah,
don't eat spices. This is not Indian thing. This is not Indian, bro.
right.
People make butter chicken here, which doesn't have spices. Only chicken in a gravy makes butter chicken.
Man,
No, makes
this
no
is so
sense.
disappointing. This is so disappointing. Like,
I know. Even though like there are a few outlets that serve good Indian food, but if you see like an Australian making Indian food, it's a scam, guys. They're making Australian type Indian food.
like they are making Indian food, but in Australian style. Getting
Yeah, like we made pasta in Indian style,
it.
or we make chow mein in Indian style. Here, people, I mean, I met so many Chinese people. I'm like, yeah, I like chow mein so much. It's so good. They're like, what is chow mein?
For them, it's noodle or spaghetti, right?
I said Hakka noodles. I was like, I have tried Hakka noodles. I in the expectation of they must know that. I was like, we eat momos, we eat your Hakka noodles. We're a big fan of Chinese food. India is crazy about Chinese food. They didn't know Hakka noodles. They didn't know momos.
Man.
They were like, oh, these are dumplings. I'm like, yeah, dumplings. I'm like, yeah, okay, dumplings. They're like, this is not how we eat the dumplings. I'm like, okay, this
Hmm.
is Indian Chinese food then.
Yeah. Like,
The Chinese food
hmm.
different. What we eat in India is an Indian version of Chinese food. Chinese
Yeah.
food is completely different.
Hmm.
The spring rolls that we eat are not are not what the people in China eat. It's like we're eating
Yeah.
completely our version of Chinese food. It's
Exactly.
not,
By adding our own
yeah,
spices and, taste in
we are making our own way. Like they've never
it.
actually eaten the spring roll we eat.
Yeah.
And it's a Chinese dish for us. I mean, we have been
Yeah.
living in the bubble and
Exactly.
now, yeah, it's like in Chandigarh, in Sector 15, there was like a whole Chinese market which used to serve Chinese food.
Hmm.
It doesn't serve Chinese food, it serves Indian version of Chinese food. So now when I am here, I know that there's a difference between what we call Chinese food versus what Chinese people call Chinese food.
Yeah. State-wise, like, country-wise, it is so different.
Yeah. But the thing is, Indian food, Indian culture, Indian songs are so famous. I mean, people know it so well. I mean, people have had friends. I mean, each one of them must have had an Indian friend before. So a lot of Chinese people know Indian songs. The other day, my Chinese friend was singing, "Tutturu tutturu tuttarara." Yeah,
And
and
that is
they have made,
Punjabi. है ना? That is
yeah,
Punjabi song.
and yeah, and they were like Namaste. They were talking about AP Dhillon. They were talking about butter chicken. This guy from Sydney who had an Indian girlfriend before, he was making pulao. Like, wow.
And
Yeah,
like
our
AP though is
culture.
famous, AP is famous all over the world. Except India,
Yeah,
he does concerts everywhere.
yeah. That's the point. There are no concerts in India.
Exactly.
We are just seeing him online in videos. We're like,
Yeah,
yeah, AP.
this is wrong. This has to change. AP should come back to
Yeah,
India and do his concerts
yeah.
over here.
He's doing it literally everywhere except,
Yeah.
and most of the people do it this way. Like Taylor Swift also doesn't come to India. But
Hmm.
that makes sense in her
That
case.
makes sense,
AP should
exactly.
come to India.
He's Indian. He should promote his songs more over here, right?
Yeah, and I mean most of the people from India hear his songs. Like,
And I
of
don't
course,
understand who understands Punjabi, like abroad, that he does so many concerts over there.
but there's like a lot of Punjabi population though. So it's like Canada has a lot of Punjabis, US has a lot of Punjabis, even Australia has a lot of Punjabis. So it's like Punjabiyon ki kami nahi hai.
Yeah, Indians की भी कमी नहीं है.
Uh, I mean, Indian, Punjabi, whatever you say, Indians are everywhere, literally
Hmm.
everywhere. No matter, we are the most populated country in the world.
We are spread across the world.
Yeah. I read this survey where it said every fifth person you'll meet will have an Indian origin. And that's so true
Hmm.
because when I meet people here, I mean, they have an Indian origin because their parents are Indian. So their face seems a bit like us. So I feel like they're
Wow.
Indian, but they're not Indian. They are Indian origins, born and brought up in Australia. So their accent is Australian. Their name is Indian. Like the other day, I met this girl whose name was Tanya. She was like, "My name is Tanya." So Tanya is Tanya, not Tanya. But because
Hmm.
she was born and brought up in Australia, so her name is Tanya. Like,
just
okay, Tanya.
just the difference of accent.
Yeah. The difference of accent and also the Indian origins. They like speak fluent languages when they are talking with their parents. Like I see this girl who was from Sydney and her
Hmm.
parents were Punjabi and their
Yeah.
parents had the Hoshiarpur origin.
Hmm.
This girl was talking to me proper Australian accent. I was like, बिल्कुल Australian लड़की है. The moment her mom called, पूरी पंजाबी. I mean, पूरी literally पंजाबी बोल रही थी वो मेरे सामने. I'm like, ब्रो मैं 1 घंटे से तुझसे इंग्लिश में बात कर रही हूँ मुझे बता देती मैं भी शिफ्ट हो जाती. भाई मेरे को समझ में आया 1 सेकंड के लिए वो बंदी बदल गई एकदम से अंदर इंग्लिश में बात कर रहा है फ्लुएंटली एंड हर मॉम कॉल्स और वो पूरी पंजाबी में बात कर रही है पूरी प्रॉपर. मेरे को समझ नहीं आया एकदम से वक्त बदल गया जज्बात बदल गए इसका एक्सेंट
Parents.
बदल गया एक्सेंट घूम घूम, है ही नहीं एक्सेंट, पंजाबी, पूरे पंजाब का कल्चर आ गया उधर।
Happens just because उनके parents थे ना, so they can't flaunt their accent in front of them.
पता घर जाके जुत्ती पड़ेगी।
So true.
Yeah, and they don't pretend to be like having to know any Indian language when they meet people from India. They'll flaunt the Australian accent, and the moment their parents call, बदल जाएगा सब।
Hmm, getting it. Same happens with you also.
I mean, I don't know if I'm the only flag bearer of Indian culture. मैं जिससे भी मिलती हूँ, they're like so interested in India and me being an Indian lover core दिल से मैं सबको इंडिया की कहानियां सुनाने लग जाती हूँ। Like
Wow.
literally, जो मिलता है उनके पास कोई ना कोई क्वेश्चन होता है। So today I met this girl who was like, why do people like float the ashes of a dead person in Ganga? फिर मैं उन्हें
Hmm.
उसकी कहानी बताने लग गई। The other day somebody was asking who is Krishna. I mean they have so many questions about India because they have like छोटा छोटा ऐसे सुना हुआ कहीं से, and then
Yeah.
I start like giving them ज्ञान about India, and then I feel like so nice. I know it. I'm an Indian.
ऐसे उनके सामने unfolding a history of India. You must be.
Yeah, and it's so cool. And then when I ask them the Australian history, वो मुझे बताते हैं, but I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy telling them Indian tales because it's so fun.
Yeah, promoting our own culture and values. It does feel good.
I mean, I don't know, but the first thing I tell people is I'm an Indian, so that they'll ask me Indian questions. Like this is the only thing that I've mastered all my life.
Hmm. This is so nice, yeah. Like, promoting our own culture and, meeting different people. And this is the best way, to do this and get that international exposure in this age.
Also, like when you share your stories, you find like there's a similarity. The other day, I
Hmm.
was telling a person about how we use the Indian traditional methods to cure cold and cough. So we use like camphor and clove, and we put it in a potli and वो सूंघते
Hmm.
हैं, so ऐसे inhale करते हैं
Yeah.
everything. So she was like, we do the same thing, and she was in Australia. And I'm like, yeah, we have a similarity here. And I couldn't like really believe it, but she just completed what I said. And
Yeah.
you get to know that there are a lot of things that are common between our culture. So it's like once you start exploring and telling people, once you start socializing and knowing people, you get to know
Hmm.
that a lot of things are common. Like a Chinese friend of mine, she was telling how
Yeah.
their parents use like traditional Chinese medicines and chai origin and everything. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, and then I completed it that we drink milk tea in India, and then there's this thing called we have to like order chai as chai tea. I'm like, either call it chai or tea, it's the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
But they don't understand it, so it's like me telling
Their
them
problem.
or tea, not chai tea. Even the shop is called chai tea.
This
And
is so
yeah, I mean,
strange.
yeah, but it's okay, like at the end of the day. But people here love Indian food so much. The Indian shops is almost filled with Australian people every
Yeah.
time. People are having Indian food. It's good. Like, why should we not promote India? It's the best.
Right. Yeah, yeah, this is the great one. And when like person gets to know all these insights, it actually makes us feel good. कि यार,
Yeah. I mean, sharing my Indian stories make me feel so happy. It's just like the other time I accidentally had beef. So I was explaining everybody why is it not allowed in my culture to have beef. And then
yeah.
everybody is careful now. They're like, no, we
Wow.
should have beef. It's not allowed in a culture.
My
So
God.
yeah.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. Like the things which you have believed, and then you are, questioning those conditioning, and then, deciding on your own. That matters the most.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just switch on to some other culture as soon as you enter a
Right.
country. And also, it's up to you. I mean, I love my culture so much. I love my country so much. I'm here
Yeah.
just to like explore and have an international exposure. No way I'm here to change my culture or to change my ethnicity or to, adapt to a different country or to follow their rules and regulations. I'm just here to explore and have an exposure.
Mm.
So I will obviously promote my country because I love it. I mean, India is the best. It has the most beautiful and the richest culture. And I think what makes us proud of being an Indian is this only, because people know us because of our culture, because of our values,
Mm.
because of all the mythology, because of all the holy places that we have, because of the
Mm.
culture that we have, because of the diversity India has, because of
Yeah.
the food India has. I think
Mm.
India is the identity of ours. Even a friend of mine, her name is India, and she's not an Indian. She's an Australian.
Oh,
She, my parents went to India and they liked it so much that they named her India.
wow. Wow, this is
Yeah,
so cool.
I know. I was like so happy. I mean, I've never been happy about anything. I've heard names like Sydney. I've heard names, a lot of names of different places, but I never heard about India. And I tell this to a friend, and he's like, I also have a friend, her name is India too. And these are two different people in the same uni ANU.
Isn't this so funny, like having a person named after a country?
Yeah, it's so fun and so good because people like India so much.
Hmm. And this you realize once you are out of India.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I love India so much. I love it.
Hmm. This is nice. So yeah, like thank you so much, Disha, for sharing these amazing insights. And yeah, basically, what I realized is everything was fine when we are already living in our homes. But once we step out, put ourselves out there, that is the time we realize that, things are different. There are different worlds, and we have to, survive and be our own selves. So yeah, you are doing great. You will definitely be someone, like better version of yourself in the future. All the very best for that.
I hope so. Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure for me to be on Conversations for Change. And we have been planning this collab since a long time, but we did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, finally we had it.